The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is perhaps Samsung's most complete smartphone experience. So much so that I actually can't put it down. Let's go. Back in 2019, when the foldable revolution began, I was immediately hooked. Despite all of the pitfalls of the original Galaxy Fold, all of the drawbacks, I was obsessed. It gave me a realization of what the future was going to be. And here we are 7 years later, and we are kind of at the finishing point of what Samsung set out to achieve. The goal from the start was simple: a convenient smartphone on the front that unfolded into a mini tablet on the inside. And then when you didn't need it, you just fold it away and put it into your pocket. Back at the start, Samsung wanted to ensure it's close to a one-to-one smartphone experience as possible. That's why they kept things like wireless charging and didn't sacrifice that sort of stuff, whereas other brands did. As time went on, they kept adding things: multiple cameras, high-resolution cameras, S Pen support, IP rating. It all kind of kept getting added. Here we are with the Fold 7, and Samsung have kind of reached, at least design-wise, the pinnacle. They have reacted to consumer demand a little bit. There was a lot of calls for people wanting a wider cover screen. Samsung wilted in that department, but not by much. It still kind of sticks to that overall design ethos that they started with. The thing about the Fold 7 design is the actual design of it has nothing to do with why this is amazing to hold. It's actually the weight and the thickness. I often cannot believe just how light this thing is. 215 grams. Every time you pick it up from a table, you kind of get reminded of the fact that you're not picking up as heavy as what you think you are. It feels as good now, if not better, than the first time I used it. Nothing comes as close in weight in the hand as what the S25 Edge does, but that's a slab phone. As far as a foldable tablet goes, this is incredibly light. For me, the benchmark is the fact that it weighs less than the S25 Ultra, which is a fully fledged slab smartphone. This is lighter by 3 grams. As much as people put down Samsung for their lack of innovation, what they've achieved here, they ought to be commended for it. I do wish the display had anti-reflective coating on it. Just sitting down on my lounge that I've got here in my office with a big window behind it, it does kind of distract you. But for the most part, I will put up with it because of everything else this gives me. One example being that it's a tablet. Did I mention that? Unfolding it out into the 8-inch inner display is as satisfying now, if not more satisfying, than what the original Fold was. It just feels sensational, and every time I use it, I am in awe of it. The crease has worsened. As you would expect, it's a phone that folds literally in half. There's an argument that I make to myself about creases. You've got a crease right here in your arm. That's because you fold it. No one complains about that. It's just human biology. How come we haven't solved that yet? It's because it literally folds in on itself. It doesn't matter that at first glance, when you took it out of the box, it didn't present as deep or as cutting. It will degrade over time. But it's not distracting when you use it normally, which is to just look at the phone. On angles, yeah, you might notice it, but looking at it straight on, you honestly don't even realize it. There's only one thing, though, design-wise, that I am perplexed by as far as decision-making goes, and that's the camera on the inside display. Not being under display, I don't get it. Absolutely should be hidden by pixels, because you need it sometimes for video calls, but most of the time you won't use it, so just hide it away. It's quite distracting when you're watching full-screen YouTube content, but I actually like watching YouTube in portrait view. Hear me out. Let me explain what I mean by this, because it's not necessarily like shorts. I mean the content of YouTube across the top, then the bottom half you can use to scroll, whether it be comments, whether it be videos that you want to watch. You've kind of got that full immersive experience of the entire app and not just the video that you're watching. And then there's the whole flow with the Fold when it comes to content. You can go from opening up YouTube on your cover screen and sort of browsing content that you want to watch to selecting your video from there. Then you open it up into that inside display and it just immediately jumps to the same point. And then you've got that continuity of apps from that point as well, with other apps too. It's not just YouTube. But then when you need your hands, let's say for work, you can actually pop the phone down onto a flat surface into flex mode. Then the software will rearrange itself and then it gives you content top half, controls at the bottom. It's great because it gives you that almost case-like experience without needing a case. And then you just sit there and watch your content naturally without needing to crane your neck. It's at a perfect height for eye level to sort of look at because it's looking straight at you. And obviously the software around the Fold, Flex Mode being the perfect example, is catered for the form factor. 7 generations in, Samsung have it figured out. Multitasking is great. Often use it for browsing the internet, whether it be comparing shopping items, whether it be having social media apps open next to each other, or taking notes from a video, or whether it be just general productivity. It's great to have that productivity element with multitasking with the Fold and being able to launch those multiple environments. Flex mode, like I mentioned, has been built to support entertainment, but Samsung have also built out Flex mode to support productivity too. The Flex mode panel that Samsung have created actually allows you to force Flex mode onto any app. And then you get a little like touchpad, trackpad type thing where you can actually have a mouse at the top and the trackpad at the bottom for controlling the top half of the environment, almost like a laptop. Then there's the taskbar, which makes accessing the multi-window environment that much easier because it's like a little dock of your favorite apps and recent apps down the bottom that you can launch into multi-window or just switch between apps very quickly. So convenient. And if you go into advanced features with the foldables, they've got software in there to force apps that maybe don't support the foldable form factor into supporting it. Samsung almost strong-arm them into it if they haven't already jumped on board. More and more apps are getting on board and less aren't, so you're not really finding as many problems. But if you ever do stumble across that app, you can just go into advanced features and the settings in there. It completes the experience because you've got the hardware that is now light and the design that is comfortable and easy to use. And then you've got the software that backs that up. It sort of completes the experience and makes it very addictive. And if that was all the foldable lifestyle offered, I would still be sold because that is still enough, especially for a device like this. But when you start to factor in the cameras, it just adds a little cherry on top. In using a foldable over the last 7 generations, I've found out one main thing, and that's the cameras on these are more than just the hardware that's on the back here. Don't get me wrong. It's nice that Samsung are paying attention and upgrading them. Like the fact this has got the main camera from the Ultra and a 12 megapixel camera with ultra wide has been a nice addition, especially as a content creator myself. It's nice to have those extra little features that add the sort of capabilities of these things. But if Samsung did nothing to the cameras from the Fold 6 and just moved them across here to the Fold 7, I would still be happy. I would not complain. Absolutely not saying they shouldn't upgrade them though. Please give me that sweet 5x telephoto camera from the Ultra onto here. Would love that. Deep down, I think Samsung know that if they put the 5x camera on here, it's over for the Ultra. So maybe that's why they're holding off for now. What I mean by not caring is that the cameras on here are more than what they appear on a spec sheet on a website. It's down to what the form factor allows you to use them. And 6 months into this form factor, my goodness, it's been great to use. The various little flexibilities that it allows for both photography and videography are amazing. When we go on holidays, we like to capture our moments through both a combination of photography and videography. It's leaning into videos lately, but you get my point. The Fold makes it so easy because it gives you so many options. For the photos element, it's great to have the software on the inside that allows you to review photos straight after you've taken them and utilize the massive internal display because you get the bigger review after you've captured it. It's also amazing for cover screen preview, where you can actually preview what you're seeing from the cameras on the cover screen. So the subject of the photo gets to see what they're looking at, especially when you've got kids. Having them be distracted by their own image is great, and that means they're looking towards you. Can't lose. When I was out over the school holidays, I got some great photos of the family, of nature, using the Galaxy Z Fold 7. The main camera, awesome output. It just gives you the flexibility to know you're going to capture the moment well, and it just means that with the added software and the camera hardware, you're getting a really good experience. Then there is video. This is where the form factor of this really shines. Flex mode is absolutely my favorite aspect of this. Being able to crank this thing halfway and prop it down onto a flat surface just means that I can actually jump into the scene and be a part of it as opposed to always being the person behind the camera. It means I won't need any bulky sort of tripods. I can just lay it down flat on the table, hit record, and join in. In fact, that's what I've done right now. This is all being shot using Flex mode on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Rear cam selfie is also great for videos too, because I can frame myself up properly. I've got the screen to preview myself, and I can sort of see where I am in relation to where the camera is. It's great as opposed to using the selfie camera on the phone or trying to aimlessly frame myself up with a slab phone using the rear cameras and I can't see myself. Everything about the Fold 7 is near perfect. Hardware, check. Software, check. Performance from the processor, check. All of it combined, is magic. There's just one problem holding this thing back: battery life. By the standards of how we use our phones today, the battery life on this is actually quite poor. Scraping through to the end of the day at sometimes 6 p.m. with like 10% is actually really disappointing. I actually am quite fortunate in that I sit at a desk where I've got chargers and wireless charging pads and deck stations everywhere. I work from home and I have access to all of that. Perfect example of the battery life that I'm talking about is that right now it's 2:51 in the afternoon, almost 3 o'clock, and I'm at 42%. Just ticked over from 43 actually to 42. I just filmed the B-roll for it. And it's not really used that much. Like I took it off charge at about 7 o'clock. So it says it's used about 7 hours and 45 minutes and it's taken 58% capacity in that time. And the screen on time is showing 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you wouldn't expect that amount of screen on time to use over 50% of your battery and then leave you with not much for the rest of the day. Right now, I'm about to go pick up my son from school and go to football. So that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that it gives you a bit of battery anxiety, and it shouldn't. A phone like this should last you all day. And it's not like I've done heavy usage. I mean, I have browsed social media a lot and watched some YouTube videos, but really the list of things that I've been doing on it hasn't been extensive. So it's not enough to warrant not having that much battery life. That was before. I shot that 2 hours ago, and that was where the battery was at. And it's now 4:09, and I'm at 22%. That's not enough. I'm about to head out for football now, and I don't have enough battery, I think, to get me through. It would be nice to not have to think about it, to just be able to pick up my phone and go. But now I'm probably just gonna have to quickly top it up for 10 minutes before I leave. It's gonna have to do. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna have to think more about leaving it on the wireless charger throughout the day so I don't get in this situation again. It's not as if I use it drastically. Like it probably would get maybe 4 hours of screen on time to get to this point. It's just the fact that I don't think the capacity is big enough. If Samsung was courageous with the next Fold, the battery capacity would be their main concern. Take a stab at silicon carbon. See what happens. I know it's a very important phone line for Samsung and they can't afford to mess it up, and that's probably what's holding them back from using it. But if you can imagine a Fold 8, same dimensions, potentially even lighter, with 5 times telephoto camera, please, and a 7,000 milliamp hour battery, wow. I don't think you'd need to buy another phone again. Maybe that's why they're not doing it. But it might not seem like we're getting it this year. So at least for this year, unfortunately, might not get it. But the battery shortcoming aside, I will keep this thing in my orbit. I will likely switch to the S26 Ultra as my main phone. Reason being is I like to keep up to date with the latest, so I can keep you up to date with the latest. So I use the latest so I can make videos about the latest so you can learn about the latest. But I have a second SIM and that will be in here, no doubt about it. But if you were using the Fold 7, absolutely does not mean you need to upgrade. In fact, you can keep a hold of this, because if I had a choice right now, if I didn't use other phones, if I didn't do this technology YouTube game, I would just be using this. That's it. But we do have an S26 Ultra launch to look forward to, so make sure you hit subscribe to take the benefits to get on board with that, because I'll have a lot of coverage talking about that new lineup of phones. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you guys in the next one. You.